Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
This was a tough summer for Brad Treliving and the fan base to try to fill a couple of major holes in the departure of Matthew Tkachuk via the trade route to Florida and the free agency exit by Johnny Gaudreau. So what this does is it adds superstar power. When you look at Jonathan Huberdeau talking about one of the top point getters in the league, a big body, a player who is going to help change the culture and the dynamic, certainly is going to have an impact in that room. And then when you look at Nazem Kadri, who's a Stanley Cup champion, a veteran, and you know what? I think what everybody needs to remember, too, when it comes to a guy like Nazem Kadri, and there will be people who say, when this contract, when the terms are announced and when everything is official, that there will be those who say, he's too old or what have you. But this is a guy who's still got it. Analytics crowd, I'm not sure where they'll come out on this, but this is a guy who wants to be involved in the Battle of Alberta, wants to get in the teeth of the game, wants to be physical, wants to take this team to where it's going, where everybody in that room knows it wants to be. And this is a game changer for the entire organization, and one that I think Flames fans, with the two moves, are going to be ecstatic about. And I say one being this summer, it has just been, everybody's phone is blowing up right now as a result of this, but this is something that's been in the works for a long time. I can tell you Brad Treliving has been working every single day, no matter what province he's been in, no matter what state he's been in, no matter what office he's been in. It's been around the clock working on making this happen. Still not official, Roddy, but one where there are still details still to come out. There's some work that still has to be cleaned up and done, and we'll hear about that probably in the coming minutes, if not hours.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're going to play CFL Deal or No Deal for our exclusive betting partner, BetRegal.ca. So this is what we do every week. Friday night, Canada's Game of the Week. Nathan Warwick and the BC Lions visit the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Cody Fajardo. The Lions are favored by 5 on the road. Deal or no deal?
I'm taking the deal.
Are you? Do you think the Lions roll in Sask?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, it is. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Rogers Place in Edmonton. For us, one final time. It's your favorite daytime sports talk show, the RP Show. RP Show Corporation COO Lee Genier, filling the role of co-host again today for one final day of this week. How you doing, Lee?
I am fantastic.
Lee Roger Genier. Comment allez-vous? Parlez-vous français?
Oui.
There you go. Frenchman right here. Hey, listen, you're going to find out over the next little while why this show continues to be not just the Golden Corral of sports talk, the best buffet in America, a little bit of everything for you, but it's also a box of chocolates today in that you never really know what you're going to get. But I can tell you who the guests are today. Dave Campbell, longtime Edmonton Elks color commentator, will be joining us on a game day from the nation's capital, Elks in Ottawa tonight to kick off Week 11 in the CFL. CFLonTSN, Sara Orlesky, for now, soon to be the Winnipeg Jets, Sara Orlesky. She's going to be with us in hour 2. And former CFLer, 6 seasons, Michael Klassen in the CFL.
And
bobsledder. Michael Klassen's going to be with us from Cowtown to talk about all things CFL, his life, and I guess a little Olympics. But can we jump into the Quick Six show horn, please? And let's go. Quick Six show topics. Here's the thing. We've had more than enough commentary of the Calgary Flames signing Nazem Kadri and who's going to be better. And trust me, being at Edmonton over the last 24 hours, we'll probably get to that in today's show. But we broke it down when it happened yesterday with Sportsnet's Ryan Leslie. Who's going to be better? We'll debate that later. It's going to be a lot of football talk today. But my first point is the fact that we're here for the World Juniors. It's semifinal Friday. 2 p.m. Mountain, it's Canada versus Czechia, and then, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern, the other semifinal, Sweden versus Finland. Two classic hockey rivalry is going to be waged on this ice right here. Got a morning skate going on right now. Canada was out earlier. This can't be Canada now. Team Cheshire canceling their morning skate. They're that confidently.
Yeah.
Why would you want to skate in the morning of a 2 p.m. start? I wouldn't think you'd want to do that.
No, that's even too early for a morning shoot around.
Yeah, exactly. So our poll question, let's jump into it right now for Capital Auto Mall, but dealerships all across the prairies, and also for Universal Collision Center is, who wins Friday's semifinals? Canada versus Czechia. I'm going to take Canada. I assume you are too.
Absolutely.
Clearly, look what I'm wearing. And then the later game, it's Sweden versus Finland, and I'm going to go with Finland. They were a lot of people's pre-tournament favorite coming in, so I think they're going to advance to the gold medal game. Sweden versus Finland. What do you think?
Sure, let's go with it.
You're taking Finland as well?
I would, yeah.
Okay, you're easy to please. So that's ours, but what's yours? I'm interested to see what the poll results, who you think is going to be in the gold medal final here on Saturday. Now, I will say this, a lot of groundswell of support for this tournament here entering the weekend in Edmonton. A lot of folks snapping up tickets, a lot of people coming from all across Western Canada to watch these games. So that I like that. That's good news.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a prototypical hockey weekend here, and like I say, let's hope Canada gets into that game, and we're going to see a huge crowd tomorrow.
I will be at the semifinal here this afternoon, so if you are an RP Show fan, stop up and say hi. Let's get a photo. I'd love to meet you. And by the way, one note. Connor Bedard and Mason McTavish have been broken up for this game, or at least in Thursday's practice. They were not together on the same line. Right. For really the first time all tournament. And Serena's telling me that on the NHL network, the USA commentators are saying, if it had been a 7-game series, the States would have beat Czechia. Well, it wasn't. But here's Canada experimenting with line combos moving into the semifinal. So that's something to watch today, Connor Bedard of God's team. I think that's all I have to say about that. Folks, the 163rd running of the $1 million Queen's Plate is back this Sunday at Woodbine. The first jewel of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown of Thoroughbred Racing is North America's oldest continuously run stakes event. Showcasing Canada's top 3-year-old thoroughbreds is the highlight of Woodbine's Queen's Plate. Purchase your tickets today. You got a couple more days to do it to enjoy all that Woodbine Racetrack has to offer during the Queen's Plate at woodbine.com. And check our social media channels. We had that wonderful interview yesterday with Woodbine's track announcer and race analyst Robert Geller. Not only talking about Moira, the favorite, but maybe some of the dark horses you might want to wager on come Sunday afternoon. So if you want a little a little action.
Dancing in Denial.
Yeah, sure, it's Dancing in Denial.
30 to 1 odds.
Are you going to put some money on it?
Oh, baby, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're convincing me. Moving on to point 2, some CFL stuff here before we look at tonight's games. A doubleheader in the Canadian Football League. The CFL announcing a fine on Thursday for Saskatchewan Roughriders receiver number 5, Duke Williams. We were there. We saw it. He caught the game-winning touchdown at Commonwealth Stadium and then dove into the fans in the end zone suites and sat on the couch and started eating nachos. The Rider fans loved it. We all loved it. And then the CFL poops on his parade and finds him. You said 5,000? Was it
5,000? It's a $5,000 plate of nachos.
Yeah, was it worth it, Duke? Yeah. You see everybody is all over the CFL and saying, what is this, the NFL, the no fun league? He broke the rules. I don't agree with him being fined at all. I don't agree with the rules because where have I been all summer in various CFL cities, and the players, I won't say which teams, but they're out in the community. They're at the Stampede. They're doing things. That's fine. But within the stadium, you can't mingle with fans? It's all ridiculous optics to me, it sounds like. And I'm on Duke Williams' side in this. Yeah, I'm interested to hear yours.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of it. I mean, he went into the player safety, security of the field. So I understand that side of it. But again, great marketing tool. I know there's a GoFundMe been set up for Duke Williams. I think it was at about $1,000 this morning. So, these kind of things. John Gott did this a couple of years back in Ottawa, and it went viral across North America.
Viewer Jason says, I loved the Duke touchdown, Sully. He's not even a Rider fan. So many people are anti-CFL on this, and I don't want to say that. The CFL doesn't like negative publicity, but to be honest with you, I think they should embrace it. To be honest with you, as they say, what you resist remains in front of you. That is today's life lesson, folks. What you resist in life remains in front of you and is your focus. The NFL, look what they're going through with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're bigger than that. CFL needs to be bigger than the criticism, and I guess they are. But on this case, I'm on Duke Williams' side. That's why I say this is a box of chocolates today. You thought we were going to talk about Nazem Kadri, didn't you? Nope, it's Football Friday here on the RP Show, live from the World Jays. Moving on to point 3, Friday night football tonight.
Hey.
The 2-7 Edmonton Elks at the 1-7 Ottawa Red Blacks. It's brought to you by Mr. Plumber, because it's the toilet bowl. These teams are a combined 3-14. I've been reading the coverage. I've been reading the game notes. I see Paul Lapalisse, my good friend Lapo, saying, I don't care what Edmonton's record is. This is about us. And he's right. Do you expect a good game between two bad teams, or what do you expect tonight?
Well, yeah, like you're going to two really desperate teams tonight. So, you could have a great game come out of this. You could have a really sloppy game come out of it, because I think guys are going to, they're at this point right now, at this halfway point, is just now guys are probably fighting for jobs for next year. And so you're going to see things, I think, break open a little more, way more wide open play tonight. So I expect a high scoring affair tonight.
And I see people are tuning in. They're here for the football talk, and that's what we're doing. By the way, Dave Campbell of the Elks broadcast crew, Sara Orlesky and Michael Klassen coming up on today's show. Yeah, we're not talking about the NHL today. We've been talking hockey all week. Fridays are for football. So I just hope for a good game, and I'll get to the second game of the doubleheader in a moment. But it's hit 3downnation.com and the I guess viral comments of TSN play-by-play man Dustin Nielsen, who resides here in Edmonton. He's the morning radio guy on TSN 1260 radio, and he has said what? To paraphrase, if the Elks lose tonight, it'll be the last straw, and fans will give up on this team. Your thoughts, and then I'll give mine.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with Dustin on that. And basically he said nobody is talking Elks in Edmonton, and I would have to agree with him. We've been here for 2 straight weeks. I haven't really heard any talk about the Elks, and they're 2-7. They dropped to 2-8 tonight against a lowly Red Blacks team. Then that's going to speak volumes for sure.
Here's the thing. I shouldn't say what you said privately. I'll just say this. Dustin wears a couple different hats. He's local Edmonton radio, but he's national CFL play-by-play. He's got to serve many masters. We're surprised that he said those comments, but they are the truth. So I give Dustin, I commend him for that. It's the sad truth. The Edmonton Elks in this town, what I've heard, this isn't my comment, what I've heard from people is that the brand is non-existent. And how could you hang that on Victor Cui? How could you hang that on Chris Jones? When Jones left town, they were the Grey Cup champions, for the love of God. And he comes back and the franchise has been obliterated. If you really want to get into Edmonton Elks talk, in these suites here the other day, I said that there were CFL people I was with, and there were, and they said, Brock Sunderland completely devastated this franchise. And I said, what about the president, Chris Presson? They said, he never should have been hired in the first place. He's an American, didn't know what he was doing, right? He said he's a nice guy. It was Sunderland that screwed up the Edmonton Elks, but nobody's talking about him. And now Victor Cui and Chris Jones got to stand there and answer to it every day. And did you see Victor Cui's tweet about people ask me why I would take a job where people are attacking me every day, and it's because I'm with good people and I want to make a difference, and I believe that is entirely it. I said to Lee, we're walking to the elevators the other day, and I said, why would anybody want to be a sports executive these days? It's the worst time in the world to be one. People still like it.
Yeah, people still drawn into it. I mean, I spent 30 plus years as a sports executive, and there was some good and bad. But right now, I wouldn't want to be in Victor Cui's shoes right now.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I'm sure he's got a long-term contract. We understand he's got a lot of money in the bank, so Victor Cui will be fine. But I thought I love Victor Cui because he's a heart-on-the-sleeve kind of guy. I think he's coming on Monday's show. But when he said, why would people wonder why I want to be in this business when people are attacking you every day, I'm like, you know what, Victor, that's why I don't. If people are starting to realize why I'm sitting at this table right now, I'm over it. I deserve better to be yelled at and treated the way that I was by fans, by teams, by bosses. But Victor ain't. So I say God bless him. Moving on to the night game. Jennifer from the Four Seasons chimes in. Good morning, everyone. Jays pull off a big win, even with Kikuchi closing the game. Anxiety is high for Canada Cheshire this afternoon. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg, how far the Elks have fallen. Not even 20 years ago, I was living in Edmonton. It was common to see huge crowds in Grey Cups. Right? And the question is, can you bring it back? What are they chanting back here? I just wonder if it comes up over the microphones.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
No, I think
there's a party going on back here.
Party on the edge.
I think it's Finland skating this morning, judging by the blue jerseys. But anyways, to tonight's second game of the CFL doubleheader. Now, this one is not the Toilet Bowl. This is Canada's game of the week. It's the 7-1 BC Lions at the 5-4 Saskatchewan Roughriders. Between the two, that's a 12-5 record. So these are two good teams going after it tonight. I had a young kid, Cole, write me from Victoria or Vancouver Island today and said, what do you think is going to happen tonight? And I said, I just want a good game. I got friends on both teams. I'm not cheering for either team. BetRegal has the Lions as 5-point favorites. And while that's never a guarantee, those suckers at BetRegal, those odds makers have been right almost every game.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've noticed.
That's what they do. That's their job.
It's godlike how they do that. So I'm sorry to say, but I think BC is just too good of a team. And I'll say this, the best receiving core in the league. Somebody said that the other day, and I started looking. I'm like, really? That happened fast? And then I went and looked at they might be the first team in CFL history to have 3 receivers have 1,300 yards or more. We in Sask, twice we had 3 receivers with 1,000 yards or more, and they were all Hall of Famers for the most part. How did BC do this, man? Very quietly.
Well, they have, but, again, you have to look at Nathan Rourke's numbers. So you know what? If you're throwing 475, 490 a game, that means receivers are getting a lot of yards. So, that's because, hey, it goes like this. It's a team game.
I agree. To our viewers, Jason says, hard to talk football on Football Friday when the big news right now is the World Juniors and the NHL trades/signings. No, it's not hard at all. That's what we're doing. That's why you're sitting there and we're sitting here. Mike Horgan in Toronto from the 905. Happy Friday, Rod Squad and show. Thank you, Mike, who's tuned in for the football talk. Arlen Bruce III writes in and says, bro, did fans and players forget that there wasn't football too long ago? People should enjoy the days and stay positive whether your team wins or not. Life is great. AB3, you know it. I know it. He knows it. But the world screwed up. Did you not know that? And when and when the teams are charging hundreds of dollars for tickets and your team sucks, I don't blame the fans. Again, back to why I would never want to be a CFL team president right now. That's why they won't say the term rebuild. They won't even say it. They won't say it. It's a swear word because the second you say rebuild, bump, that's where your season tickets go. So they won't say it. So they're snowing everybody. And I just wouldn't want to be a team executive because you got to win or the fans are pissed off.
Hey, that's the core reason why they're there, to watch the team be competitive, and obviously, and not beating up on the Elks, but they have been embarrassed this season.
I'm not done on that, and I don't think you are either. Clay in Brandon is watching and says, I think the Riders can upset BC tonight. Well, anything's possible. That's why they play the games, and that's why I say these odds makers aren't. It's not a guarantee what's going to happen. The BC is going to win by 5 or more, but it's a pretty good guideline going into the game as to what the odds makers are thinking and what will happen. Anyways, we'll take a break and come back. Carlos in Indianapolis says, come for the quick 6, stay for the Rod's rants. Thank you for pointing that out, Carlos in Indianapolis. And, of course, Rod's rants for Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the preferred plumbing, heating, and cooling company, the RP Show. Before we break, what's on at the movies this week with Landmark Cinemas in theaters now? Bullet Train. Brad Pitt stars as Ladybug, an unlucky assassin determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs has gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as Ladybug's latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives. On the world's fastest train. From the director of Deadpool 2, David Leitch, the end of the line is only the beginning in a wild, non-stop thrill ride through modern-day Japan. You want to go to it this weekend? Text movies right now to 902-518-3033 to be entered to win tickets and treats at Landmark Cinemas. Winners picked every week to go to the movies. We'll continue this discussion right after this break.
Go.
Right. With Lee. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network. We're also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Number 16. A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
You see that? You see that morning skate here on this Friday of the semifinals. That's Finland out on the ice. They'll be taking on Sweden tonight in One World Junior semifinal. Canada versus Czechia this afternoon. And Lee and I both have been saying this. Once this weekend's over, gonna miss this barn.
Yeah.
Gonna miss this town.
It's been a great couple of weeks. And, I just want to make mention as we were coming into the building today, obviously Oilers fans lining the street because it is the procession for Ben Stelter funeral today. and everybody just out there and holding up Ben Stelter cards. We're gonna miss you, Ben, and you had our hearts. So,
as a matter of fact, that's what those cards say that they're handing out. We'll miss you, Ben, and it's tough to talk about. This is an Edmonton thing, and we're not Edmonton people, but we are here. I struggle for the right things to say about it, but the streets are lined right out front here of Rogers Place, and what I was told was the celebration of life, if we're using the right term, was to go after 9, and then Ben's procession would be moving by 9:45 a.m. It'd be nice if we were able to have a live camera up there. I would carry a little bit of it just to give you a sense of the love in this community for the child who lost his life with cancer this week. But I'll say this, Ben's in a better place, and the suffering is over, and he has left his mark on this franchise forever. So it's quite a story that we've been engulfed in as well. We talked about 2 weeks being here.
Yeah, absolutely, it has been.
We're going to switch to NFL here in a second, but from some of our viewers, Dougal Cameron checking in Calgary, he says the Elks are still suffering from the bad karma from the name change. Actual Eskimos were fine with it. Just saying, ... Well, we have to look forward and not back. And I've spent a lot of time in Edmonton this summer, and it's been wonderful, kind of immersed in the community, and I hear that a lot. I've used the term Elks. I've had people yell at me for that. And I wonder if any teams that have changed their names in other markets like Washington or Cleveland have gone through the same thing. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. I think if they were 7-2 rather than 2-7, we're probably not having this conversation.
Right, probably not having it. So.
Winning is the best perfume. Covers a lot of stink. Terry Carrier writes in, he says, Friday Night Football is going to be interesting. Yes. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in, he says, in 10,000 simulations, I had a 50-50 split on the Riders and Lions. Gave the edge to the Lions for consistency scoring points. Well, back to that, I said to the kid on Vancouver Island, Colwood, who's probably watching now, I just want I want a close game. Last week's games in the CFL, everyone went down to the final 3 minutes, and I think that's what we would all want.
Yeah, and you look at Montreal upsetting Winnipeg. Wow, right there. So anything can happen, but that's why they play the games.
CFL fans are here today to talk about the games. From Northside YEG in Edmonton, he says, I used to love when the Riders were the underdogs for years on end. They are that tonight. The Lions are the best team in the league, and the Riders are trying to stay around 500. It's a hell of a game. 8 p.m. Mountain, trust me. But as a guy that started with the Riders in 1999 full-time and stayed there for 20 seasons, I came in that underdog status, and we became the brutes in that time. Now's a good time to get into it. Sit down, folks, because this guy right here hated the Riders, and that's fine. I hated you. I hated you.
For a time, I did.
And I hated you, and you know that. But it was a respectable professional rivalry. Oh. But you said you had a little contention. 2 weeks we've been together side by side, and he just drops this one today. He says if it wasn't for the Riders winning the 2007 Grey Cup, they wouldn't have all of this. And explain.
Well, when you went down when you looked at all the business operations back in 2007 and before, there was a lot of struggles. And you know what is the merchandise sales were not where they are now. I think when you look at Calgary, Edmonton, and Saskatchewan, everything was pretty much on par. We used to share a lot of information, and obviously, you and I both sitting at the 2007 Grey Cup against Winnipeg, and that game could have went either way, and the Riders just went on a trajectory after that. Merchandise sales went up to about $6 million a year, and really just it was $9 million. Great, yeah, well, it kept going up. Like I think exactly. 1 year there was 16 million, including Grey Cup sales as well. So there was always, I think, a catalyst, and that was a huge catalyst point. So.
And if the bear hadn't stopped to take a dump, he'd have caught the rabbit. Didn't happen. We won the game. There's a lot of karma involved in there and doing things right. And who was our president at the time? Oh, yeah, Jim Hobson. Can you say that in your Jack Nicholson voice?
Jim Hobson.
Exactly. He's still not over it. The Riders winning in 2007, and that's fine. Jim knew what he was doing. You know, and now the Riders are going into a third straight home game as underdogs. Are you seeing the difference? The Riders haven't lost 3 straight at home since 2015. So you can sit and say what you want about me. I'm just stating facts right now. And Nelson writes in and says the Riders will cover. Well, they're not the favorite. If anything, the Riders may beat the spread. They're 5-point underdogs going into a game at home, the Hall of Fame game, if you will, the Plaza game. And what if they don't win? I can't even imagine. I was there 2 weeks ago, and at that time, the Riders had lost 3 in a row. They were going into the bye week, and they were ready to burn this city down. One thing I've noticed about Alberta, it's exactly the same as Saskatchewan, just they talk about hockey 24/7, 365. It's amazing. Saskatchewan, same thing. Football 24/7, 365, and they're not rational when it comes to hockey here either.
No.
Did you know that?
Oh, I know that. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're... all the hockey talk here, and they're not rational in any sense of the word here.
No.
Man, oh, man.
And I'm trying to really straddle, and I think I've successfully done it, and that is not be an Oilers fan nor a Flames fan. Try and be Switzerland in it, and I've been able to do that. Do you think I think we should be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we are a sports broadcast show that talks about all teams across the league. Obviously, we've been spending a lot of time in Alberta. We were at Flames and Oilers games, and you know what? 2 great organizations that are going to, really, like we talked about this yesterday, the great hockey market it is in Alberta. So.
Yeah, and they got some work to do on the football side. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just opening up the 902 text line because we've been asking people to text the show, so why not actually read some of their text messages? It would be... here, Stephen. Here we go. Stephen in Minot, North Dakota says, I enjoy the CFL talk. Can't find league coverage elsewhere. He said he's southeast of Outram, Saskatchewan. We're the #1 CFL podcast. That's a fact. The numbers show it. Even though we don't talk CFL 100% of the time, or 100% of the time. Derek Preston writes in from the 902. He says, hello, Derek in Regina here. Huge Oilers fans. He said, I feel with Uyghur, Huberto, and now Kadri, the Flames are better than last year. With Keith leaving and the Oil using a rookie, that the Oil are not as good on defense. The 7th D-man is Keo. Thoughts? Not today, because it's a Football Friday. I appreciate you chiming in, but we're only probably going to talk CFL 1 day a week moving forward, and it's going to be Fridays. And that continues today. And soon I'm going to be in an NFL market within days, and we'll be talking NFL. Hockey the rest of the week. We're only, through point 3, moving on to point 4. And by the way, with more than 160 restaurants nationwide, Ito Japan is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated for more than 40 years. NFL Thursday night, Chicago beats Seattle 27-11. Geno Smith's chance to gain an edge over Drew Lock for Seattle's starting quarterback job was hindered by his team's sloppy performance. Smith and the Seahawks were overwhelmed in a 27-11 loss to the Chicago Bears Thursday night in the second preseason game for both teams, which was mostly a dud. From Seattle's standpoint, second-year Bears quarterback Justin Fields made a brief appearance and led a field goal drive. Backup Trevor Siemian threw a touchdown pass, and Elijah Hicks recovered a muffed punt for Chicago touchdown. By the way, River Cree, how about that place?
Fantastic.
It's posh. If you're coming to Edmonton, stay at the River Cree. Their room rates are better than anywhere else in the city. And they bring you the best in live entertainment. September 30th, Tracy Morgan, No Disrespect Tour. Tracy Morgan is one of the most well-respected comedians in his field, known for starring on 7 seasons of NBC's Emmy and Golden Globe award-winning 30 Rock. He can currently be seen on the No Disrespect stand-up tour nationwide, and he's coming to Edmonton September 30th to River Cree. Point 5, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 9-2. Actually, that's point 6. All I have to say about that is I hope that the Blue Jays' troubles are behind them. And they got a month left in the regular season. Can they get their act together? Because if they go 600, nice would be 750. The rest of the way, they are cruising into the playoffs with a wild card spot.
And we're going to be there if that happens.
Lee is guaranteeing that we will be in Toronto if the Blue Jays host a playoff game. We're getting a lot of pressure to come to Eastern Canada with the show. Right. And I'm all over. I'm good with it. Just tell me when and where, and I'll be there. And point 6, how about this? Cadre to the Flames. So Derek and Regina, there you go. Here's the argument. Is everybody saying here in Edmonton that they're still better? Even the Oilers are trolling the Flames on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that, or Instagram. It never ends. You can't sit here in August and say who's better. August 19th, you just can't. So they're going to do your talking on the ice.
Yeah. They always got to put chemistry together, and, you're going to a new look Flames. They are better than they were last year. So, hey, that's why they play 82 games.
Yeah, well, they will be talking about a 365 days a year, but we had instant analysis yesterday. If Derek's saying who's better, Oilers or Flames, you can't answer that right now.
No.
So you ask my thoughts on the Oilers' 7th defenseman. I'm not going to get into that on a doubleheader in the CFL on a Friday Night Football, and we haven't even got into Saturday's games, and that's a disservice to the fans of the Calgary Stampeders. I always think of Jayla, who said she listens to every show of ours when I met her in Calgary. They are at Toronto. Who you think Calgary's winning that game?
Yeah, I'm taking Calgary in that game.
I'll go Toronto just to be the fly in the ointment. And then Hamilton at Montreal. I see Gary Stern, their owner, on Twitter. He's trying to fool people into stirring them into selling that game out. He's just trying to line his pockets. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's what I think.
He's just trying to be a face of the organization. I couldn't tell you who the president of the Alouettes is. I know who it is, but
I know that is it Mario Cecchino or something like that?
Yeah. What I'm getting at is Gary's taking on that role, and he's probably
waving the flag.
He's having a lot of fun with it too.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, Derek and Regina. I appreciate the text and the question. We're going to Edmonton, nation's capital. Dave Soupy Campbell from the Elks broadcast crew to preview that game when we return. It's a Football Friday, live from the World Juniors on Game Plus Television. We're live streaming on YouTube, and of course, 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games.
Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
A nice place to report to work. Rogers Place in downtown Edmonton. We are less than 4 hours away from the first semifinal today at the World Juniors, Canada versus Czechia, and then the second game is Sweden versus Finland. That's our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. Who wins the semifinals? Leading the way, Canada, Finland. That's what they predict will be the gold medal final here Saturday night. But we're talking football on a Football Friday. James Henderson in Borden, Manitoba says Football Friday, best day of the RP week. The football fans would agree. And with that, we're going to the nation's capital. Dave Campbell from 630 Jed. Big game, David. Hey, for both football teams, what's the vibe there heading into kickoff at TD Place on Friday Night Football?
You know, this is, as you know, Rod, this is a great place to call a game because the vibe in Ottawa it's fever pitch. And, you know, this fan base has struggled with seeing a winning football team. I think they only have one win at home in their last 19 games. I think that only win, or that one win was against the Elks last year in a Tuesday game in September. But, you know, the ownership did it right. I mean, Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group, led by Jeff Hunt, and now Mark Goody is in the mix now. They built the atmosphere. They built up real estate. They built up commercial. There's a movie theater. There's restaurants. There's shopping, and the vibe at TD Place has always been something that I love when I come here. And I think I've been here about 8 times now since they got back in the league. So, but as far as the game is concerned, for the Red Blacks, a win would put them back into the playoff conversation big time. And a win for the Elks would just be, good for them just to continue the process. I mean, it's going to be tough for them being 6 points out of a playoff spot now, which is the crossover, even though they do have 2 against Ottawa, then 2 against Calgary, where the Riders have 2 against BC and 2 against Winnipeg before the 2 teams, Elks and Riders, meet on September 16th. So, it's still, a playoff feel, I think, for both teams tonight.
Well, call me crazy, and many do. I think you have a time or two. You've been around the CFL a long time. I've been around the CFL a long time. I don't remember must-win games this early, and I don't mean August because the season's been pushed up, but we're, going into the halfway turn. It was must-win for the Riders at Edmonton. You got a must-win game tonight. Ottawa's got a must-win. Montreal, Hamilton. Didn't it seem earlier than past year?
Yeah, and, we got to remember, too, that, for the Elks, the second half starts tonight, so the schedule's kind of been moved up a little bit, and I think that's kind of sneaky on people. I mean, there's only 20 weeks in the season, not 21 anymore. So a lot of teams, depending on their bye weeks, I mean, you look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that are finally on a bye. They have 10, they're 9-1. They've played 10 games, and everyone's kind of in a different case here. So the Elks are starting their second half. Ottawa will end their first half tonight of the season. So, yeah, the wins are important right now to stack them as early as you can. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have seen this much urgency in mid-August to late August in a very, very long time. So, I think Labor Day is going to have a different meaning now just because, that's where you're going to ramp up your playoff push instead of okay, now you're at the halfway mark at Labor Day, how it used to be, and or close to it, and that's where that's where you want to ramp up and start playing your best football. You got to start playing it now.
Well, somewhat controversial comments, I think, from Dustin Nielsen. You see at 3 down, the TSN play-by-play guy, about how the Elks need to win this one tonight or the fan base is going to give up. There's that. And then your broadcast partner, Morley Scott, saying Jones has treated this entire season like a training camp. Do you agree with that assessment by Morley? It looks that way. And is Edmonton putting up with that?
Well, I'll answer the first question first. Look, Chris Jones came in. This isn't 2013 when he came in the first time. He had a core. He had a core to work with. They were young. They were inexperienced. But you had Mike Riley. You had a Darius Bowman. You had, a Fred Stamps. You had Matt O'Donnell and Simeon Rotier and Justin Sorensen and J.C. Sherrod and Marcus Howard and Odell Willis, Aaron Grimes, on and on and on. He didn't have that this time around. He ripped the team apart right down to the foundation. I mean, funny, I was saying yesterday to Morley, he ripped it down to the studs. He says, I think he removed a few studs too. This is from the ground up right now. Injuries haven't helped. They had so many injuries at the start of camp. And then they had players here, like they've missed on some players, clearly. And that's why you've seen the constant in and out with Chris Jones with releases and signings. I mean, you saw this in 2016, Rod. I mean, this is kind of mirroring what happened that season. And then he doesn't necessarily have a quarterback that he can hang his hat on, right now. And that's the most important position in the game. The fans, there are, I think fans that are understanding, but there are fans that are, kind of sick of this and sick of the losing and sick of the organization, the way, they kind of ran things prior to when Victor Cui and Chris Jones came aboard, that a lot of them are sitting on the sidelines waiting for things to get better. And sadly, there's a smaller percentage, but still there are fans that will, sadly will never come back or won't come back for a long, long time. So, I love Dusty. Dusty's great and is a great guy, great person. I kind of was taken aback when he said you're hard pressed to find Elks fans who care. I think there are Elks fans that care. But I do think there are Elks fans that they have kind of lost right now, or are just sitting back going, I don't know if I want to spend my money or invest my time in you. So that is a concern for sure. So I think Dusty is on the right track in a lot of ways. And I don't want to evaluate, Dusty's comments necessarily here, but I do think there is some truth to it. I think the truth as always lies in the middle. There are fans that will be there till the very, very end. It was nice to see a great crowd, or a better crowd, last week against Saskatchewan. And yes, the Rider fans helped, but there was a nice vibe in that stadium again. And I haven't felt that vibe in a long time. But Victor Cui has said, I'm not going to rush this process. We're rebuilding something here, and we're going to do it right. And Chris Jones has said the same thing.
Yeah, well, to be honest, they're being paid for the sins of the past administration. It reminds me of the Bomber fans that were so mad at O'Shea and Kyle Walter. They weren't responsible for the last 30 years, and we saw how that ended. Hey, lastly, we only got 2 minutes left. On the Ottawa side, hey, Lapo's like family to me, but I've said he's got to start winning. He's in a very weak division, but they're still only 1-7. How much pressure is emanating off the Red Blacks organization going into this one that you've felt?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure because this season hasn't gone the way they thought. I mean, they started 0-3, and then Jeremiah Masoli gets hurt, and he's out for till maybe October. They finally win a game in Toronto, and then they come out the very next week against the Stampeders, especially Caleb Evans, Player of the Week, and he wasn't very good. Their defense has been phenomenal, but offensively, they just can't get any traction. There's pressure for sure. I mean, I don't think Paul LaPolice is going to get fired anytime soon, but if they don't start turning this around, then I don't know if Paul LaPolice will be back next season. So you got to remember too, Sean Burke, when he was hired as GM, I mean, he kept LaPolice, but at the same time, you got to remember that wasn't exactly his choice. At some point, if this doesn't get better, Sean Burke is going to try and find someone that he prefers, or not necessarily prefers, or that's his choice, right? So there's a lot of pressure here for sure, and that's why these two games are so critical. It's a tense game, and people joke about it. It's a toilet bowl. It's 1-win team versus 2-win team. But you just look at what's at stake here, and there's standings, there's pride. No one wants to get embarrassed by the other. It's funny because Elks fans and Elks supporters can say, "Oh, we got the Red Blacks circled on our calendar." Well, the Red Blacks are saying the exact same thing about the Elks. So two very tense games. That could the Elks sweep it? Yeah. Could they split it? Yeah. Lose both. For both franchises, that would be detrimental.
Didn't you hear it's sponsored by Mr. Plummer? Tonight's game, the toilet bowl, David. Clearly that wasn't in the game notes. Hey, no. I'll be listening because I'll be on the highway. Have a great call, buddy. I appreciate the time.
Thanks, Roddy. Nice to chat with you, my friend. Take care. And, I hope you're warm in there. That's a cold rink.
Unbelievably cold. Thanks, David. Dave Campbell from 630 Chat. Longtime Edmonton Elks color man. I'll get to all your comments when we come back in a viewer takeover, okay, and a sports update. You're watching the RP Show live from Rogers Place, the coldest rink on the planet, on Game Plus TV. We're also live streaming on YouTube, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
The Venue at River Cree, bringing you the best in live entertainment. One of the world's most gifted and accomplished ventriloquists, Terry Fader brings his repertoire of comedy, music, and unique impersonations to the Venue at River Cree this September for one night only. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Rod Squad? Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
It is the RP Show, and we're coming at you live from the City of Champions. It will always be that to me. And earlier today was the procession for the funeral of Ben Stelter, right down that street, 104th Avenue. And as we said earlier, I'll say it again, Ben's in a better place. The suffering is over, and what a mark that young man left on this world. But City of Edmonton in mourning today. What a story that kid has been through his 6 years on Earth and through the Stanley Cup playoffs and this season. Speaking of NHL, a sports update here on this Friday. Montreal Canadiens general manager Kent Hughes said news about Carey Price's knee is discouraging and that the star goalie may not play this season. Speaking Thursday after acquiring forward Sean Monahan from Calgary, Hughes said it was unlikely that Carey would be able to return without first undergoing surgery, and that rehab alone likely won't be enough. The Toronto Blue Jays and New York Yankees will rumble once again in the Bronx tonight. Thursday night, the Jays pounded the slumping Yankees 9-2 with Vladdy connecting in a 3-run homer. The first-place Yankees have lost 13 of their last 17. Kevin Gausman gets the start for the Jays today against New York's Jamison Tyone. In CFL play tonight, the Rough Riders host the high-powered BC Lions. 5-4 Riders defeated the Elks last week and are now a half game back of the 5-3 Calgary Stampeders for third in the West. The Lions, meanwhile, 7-1 on a 4-game winning streak. Also tonight, the 2-7 Edmonton Elks take on the 1-7 Ottawa Red Blacks at TD Place. This sports update for Edo Japan. With more than 160 restaurants nationwide, Edo Japan is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated for more than 40 years. And also brought to you by River Cree Resort and Casino. They bring you the best tribute acts and live entertainment. September 16th, The Legend of George Jones and Tammy Wynette featuring Dwayne Steele and Andrea House makes its way to River Cree. The Legend of George Jones and Tammy Wynette features some of the greatest country songs ever written that continue to inspire artists of all genres. Along with the iconic music, you'll also hear stories of their real lives filled with success, failure, hard drinking, and heartache. Must-see show for country fans. September 16th at River Cree. So diving into the chat, and people are loving the football talk. Because I got your attention now. Fridays will be football till the end of time on the RP Show. Won't always necessarily be CFL because we're going to an NFL market soon. But do you always want to talk football? We'll be doing it on Fridays here. So to the comments here. John in Edmonton says, what do you think attendance will be at 2 p.m. for the Canada game, Roddy? I don't think it'll be great, but I think that when they're in the gold medal game Saturday night, it'll be more than 50% full. How about that, John? From Enor Tap. Last minute of play in hour one. Enor Tap says, Rod, do you see the Flames better today than last year? I do, and I'll say it again. As I said to my brother, they were decent before Thursday, and now they've got Nazem Kadri, proven playoff performer. He's got balls, and he wants to be there. That automatically puts them ahead of the last two guys that wanted out of Calgary. So, yes, they'll be better. From Rich Robertson, Elks fan. Where is he? He says, I'm a former Elks season ticket holder. I'll be hard-pressed to ever go back. Zero off-field entertainment. The CFL only cares about the TV audience on TSN and doesn't give a toss about the actual paying fan in the stadium. That's from Rich here in Edmonton. We'll get to more of this. Sara Orlesky next hour and Michael Klassen. Stick around. We'll be back after this break on Gameplay.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
dark horse bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
We're going to play CFL Deal or No Deal for our exclusive betting partner, BetRegal.ca. So this is what we do. Every week, Friday night, Canada's Game of the Week. Nathan Warwick and the BC Lions visit the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Cody Fajardo. The Lions are favored by 5 on the road. Deal or no deal?
No, I'm taking the deal.
Are you? You think the Lions roll in Sask?
This is the Rod Peterson Show.
Hello, Canada. To steal a line from the peerless and ageless Rod Black. Welcome to the RP Show, coming at you live from Rogers Place in Edmonton on the Game Plus television network. 2 weeks for us coming to a close here on the RP Show, but it's the biggest day of all. It's semifinal Friday, Canada versus Czechia at 2 p.m. Mountain, followed by Sweden and Finland tonight. The winners go to the gold medal game on Saturday. It's a football Friday here. We've been talking a lot of CFL, some NFL. I'm going to get to all of your comments coming up later on. This hour, Sara Orlesky, CFLonTSN, soon to be Winnipeg Jets solely, and 6-year CFL veteran, former Calgary Stampeder D lineman Michael Klassen's going to be with us. Lee Genier, our COO, is here, and he's co-hosting with me, but not off the top of hour 2, as we're pleased to bring in from the Manitoba capital, Sara Orlesky. And I got to tell you, Sara, you were the biggest news in the NHL until Nazem Kadri. You're still the biggest news in the CFL this week that you're moving to the Winnipeg Jets. How's the week been for you, Sara, with the big news?
Girl, it's been absolutely overwhelming. And wouldn't you know, I'm not even in Winnipeg at the moment. I'm actually in Regina for tonight's game between the Lions and Riders. So looking forward to that one. I cannot wait for this rematch for it. But this week, Rod, has just been incredibly overwhelming for it. I've sent through repeatedly to people apologizing for how long it's taken me to reply to their messages to me. But it's been overwhelming. It's been so kind and supportive, and whether that be from colleagues, people in the industry, or fans. And as many fans, I mean, you mentioned obviously my connection with CFLonTSN, and so many CFL fans that have said that, while they're very disappointed, leaving very happy and excited for me. So the response has been just beyond anything I could have imagined.
Well, you can certainly put me in that group, but I've been a fan of yours for a long time. We go back a long ways as both SCORE alum, and I watch all these games, and the CFL on TSN promoting 25 seasons of Friday Night Football. How many of those 25 have you been a part of?
14 for them. So yeah, it's been quite the run with them. And that was actually when I first came on at TSN in January of 2008. That was why I was brought on. I was based in Toronto, but I was on to be the sideline reporter for Friday Night Football. And what a tremendous crew we had at the time with Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter. And it was just beyond anything that I could have imagined. And I mean, the people that we have working on the CFL broadcasts, it's not only the A-plus broadcasters, but then also just A-plus people that have a passion for the league. So it's been one of the highlights of my career to have been a part of, easily.
Oh, absolutely. And just such a huge, like a cornerstone of it as far as I'm concerned. If you don't mind, I'll sprinkle some of the viewers' comments in here. Andrew Stout watching says, Bonjour, Rod. Bonjour, Sarah. I wanted to wish Sarah all the best. You always showed empathy and leadership on the sidelines. I am a huge fan of yours. I only wish I got to meet you. Merci pour tout. Sarah, that's from Andrew. He's Francais, as you know. I will say this, Sarah. You and I have had this discussion. I think your job as the sideline reporter, and trust me, I've done them all. As of you, I think it's the hardest. It's the hardest. People might think it's easy. You made it look easy. It ain't easy being down there.
No, it isn't. And obviously there's, people have different perceptions of sideline reporters, depending on the league, depending on the role. But I've obviously felt that there is a lot of value to the role and what you can add, not only of being eyes down there, but the opportunity to, especially with some of the interviews, whether it be, not every interview, not every halftime interview or post-game interview, it's going to be one of those ones that are incredibly memorable. But every time that you get one of those ones where you see the raw emotion and you get some incredible answers, and some that are just so funny. I wish I could remember who it was just the other couple of weeks ago that had their, or this season that it was their first touchdown. And it was, I said, so who's going to get the ball for it? Like, me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Kind of usually you're waiting for, it to be mom or something like that, and then reconsidered. And he was like, he's like, I might give it to my mom for a week too, depending on if she makes me cookies. And
that's what he said, maybe 2 weeks, ones. Right?
That's right. So I said,
I was watching.
Some are super lighthearted, and some, I just recency bias. Last week, Brian Burnham talking after their huge win in Calgary and the emotion that he had over the win and his role in it, and just what they were able to do. It's such a privilege to be able to have those moments with athletes and to be able to talk to them, the players beforehand, and sometimes be able to convey some pretty great stories. So yeah, it's a role that I've absolutely loved and treasured.
Well, and looking forward, and you'll be telling these CFL stories forever, obviously, because of your legacy, but looking forward to the Jets, I wasn't really surprised by the move because I was in Winnipeg last summer, and I know what not just the people of Winnipeg think of you, but I know what the Jets think of you, and it's in very high regard. So when I heard this, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really surprise me, but I don't really know what you're going to be doing. So what are you going to be doing with the Winnipeg Jets?
So the official title is senior host and producer, and the role is going to continue to evolve, and will continue to expand the sorts of content that I'm involved in and what we as a content team put out. But the emphasis for me, especially in the early goings, is going to be on providing more access and better glimpses into getting to know the players for it. Something that I have always said that and I mean, Rod, you know this, anyone watching knows this, fans want to know more about the players, more. Even with every passing day, I feel like there's this insatiable appetite for people, whatever team it is that you're following, they want to see behind the scenes. They want to get to know the players more. It isn't just about the X's and O's. And so this will give an opportunity to be able to delve into a little bit more about guys away from the ice so that fans are able to learn more about their favorite players. And then also we're going to revamp the post-game show and build out a post-game show for Jets fans to be able to have, because right now, as soon as the games end, it goes to SportsCenter and there's you see the highlights and you see the recap, but there isn't really, right after the game, there isn't that opportunity to follow a true post-game show. And that's what I'm going to host and help build out and produce for it. So hopefully it becomes something where fans, as soon as that game is over, get into that habit of coming to the Jets channels to be able to not only see the post-game scrums and availabilities, but get some analysis on the game. And like I said, kind of host a true post-game show is what I'm looking at. And then we'll just continue to build from there.
Well, what's exciting about that is forging your own path, very similar to what we're doing. Nobody can tell us what to do because nobody's done it. It's so exciting. When you say that about the players, I've loved being in Edmonton. We were with some Oiler people the other night, and I said, well, Connor McDavid must not be able to leave his condo in this town. They're like, no, he takes his dog to the dog park, and he's an Edmontonian. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. People would like to see that, and that's the kind of stuff with the Jets. People they don't even know that they're human, right, Sarah? They just see them on TV and they don't realize they're people. So that'll be fun to do, I would think. You must be looking forward to that.
Very much so. That's what I love doing. I mean, whether it was with CFL or years covering the NHL for it, there are so many different places and everyone always talks about the X's and O's, but it is getting to know more about the players. And that's something that I feel that in the 11 years that the Jets have been in Winnipeg, that we don't have a great idea about these players beyond just what we see. And it's become even more challenging in recent years, obviously, because of COVID and you weren't allowed in the room, and that just the opportunity hasn't been there. And I think that there are a lot of great stories. And some of these players that, some of their interests are really, you talk to them on the side and you find out that they have some really intriguing interests, or they have these wicked sense of humors that you don't have the opportunity necessarily to have seen. So the hope is that we'll be able to extract that a little bit more from them, and so learn a little bit more about it and create, even more of a connection between fans and the players.
These interviews with you are always so easy. It's because you're a broadcaster. And Rich in Edmonton here says, if A.J. Jakubik, the illustrious voice of the Red Blacks, calls Sara one of the best in the business, then I believe it. No. Well, you can't take my word for it. I've often said to any young reporter, whether it be female or otherwise, but especially females, it's like, look at Sara and do that. That would be the template to have success, is to follow her career. And I watch all the Jets games, too, because I live in the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL, so we get all the games. And during COVID, Sarah, when you were at your set, I very much, and I realize that, but you have those guys on like Poulin and Ferraro from their home, and you're at the rink, and the Jets are on the road, and calls are dropping out, and blah, 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 and you're tap dancing on the air. I'm like, that's a broadcaster, because I've been there. Was that stressful? That COVID, that couldn't have been fun in your role.
No, I mean, the one thing that I will say is that it was what I did enjoy about it, appreciated, was just that we were able to incorporate some of the terrific stable of analysts that TSN has. And you mentioned Ray Ferraro, and we would be, he's such a great storyteller, and so he's always fun to have on. But there was a commercial breaker in, and they said, okay, well, we're having problems with Ray, and I'd try talking to Ray. He couldn't hear me. And so you're sitting there and there's nobody in the arena other than us. And I'm starting to sweat because I'm thinking, I don't know what are we going to do right now with it? So there's some challenges, as you can certainly appreciate when doing interviews or doing or having the conversations virtually. So it makes for a challenge sometimes, but I just think that it also was able to, we were also able to incorporate, or had to be more creative and incorporate people in other ways. So it was great. But there were some stressful moments of thinking, if this goes south and all of a sudden we don't hear Ray, or we lose, Pooley or Darren Drager or whoever, what exactly are we going to do? So it, like I said, it led to a few times where I'd be sitting there wanting to fan myself, go, just breathe, Sarah, this is going to be okay.
Well, can I just say, if there was one person out there watching, it was me, knowing what you were going through, and you pulled it off tremendously. And I'll just say, lastly, this, there becomes a time you got to turn the page, right? Go to the next chapter. That's where you're at. That's where I'm at. And I don't know if Britt Dort is going to be the next Sara Orlesky. Maybe you know more than me, but I've known that family. I know he played for her brother, Jeff, played for the Notre Dame Hounds and the Pats, and they're all so excited with Britt. She's paid her dues. She's worked her way up, and she's a great girl. If she does take over for you, that's pretty exciting for her and you, because she's a great kid.
You know what? I've had the opportunity to get to know her a little bit. She's been shadowing me for a number of the games here, and she's so. She's so nice, and that's always one of the things that strikes me. Kind of first and foremost with people that I think sometimes doesn't get appreciated enough is how important it is to be. To be kind and to treat everybody on your cruise really well, and she's certainly delightful like that, and asked a ton of questions. And I know that whatever it is going forward, that certainly with her personality and her incredibly hard work, because it's never easy, the role that she does right now in her day job, that's never, because you're doing everything. So the hard work is certainly there. And it's been so nice to be able to get to know her over this past, I guess, month and a half.
Yep, she's going to be great. But as I say, time marches on. Lastly, BW, one of our viewers in Edmonton, says, I have more respect after hearing Sarah's story. All the best with Jets TV. And the cool thing is, every BB will be able to watch you through the Absolutely. Jets digital channel. So that's exciting too. Sarah, enjoy the game tonight. It's going to be awesome. Mosaics, there's nowhere better on a hot summer night under the lights. Big game tonight. Good luck. I'll be watching.
Thanks so much. Always appreciate the support, Rod. And yeah, as you mentioned, big game tonight. If people are in the area watching and don't have their tickets yet and haven't seen Nathan Rourke play in person, this is a game that you're not going to want to miss, because this is going to be a West that continues to heat up with the Riders and the Lions.
Can you please call him WestJet on the air tonight? That's my nickname for him, and nobody's picked up on it. So if you can slip that in, yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Rod.
Sara Orlesky from the CFL on TSN. We had Air Canada. That's taken. Brandon Bridge. So what else? Air Canada Rouge?
How about that?
Yeah. I like WestJet. I'll be on it tomorrow. I think it's just going to be you and me, the viewers and me, in the next segment for the whole thing. So if you've got comments on all of this, fire them my way. Later on, Michael Klassen, CFL veteran, from Joey's Fish Shack, I believe, and more. We're live from Rogers Place in the World Junior Semifinal Friday on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio. Streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
The venue at River Cree, bringing in the best in live entertainment. One of the world's most gifted and accomplished ventriloquists, Terry Fader brings his repertoire of comedy, music, and unique impersonations to the venue at River Cree this September for one night only. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Number 16. A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
We are live at the World Juniors and just ahead of Lee Genier popping in. He joined us early. His call is over. I still need to jump into a sports update, Lee, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
It's a rematch for Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship here today in Edmonton. The undefeated Canadians will take on the Czechs in the semifinals, 2 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Eastern. The two sides met previously in the preliminary round with Canada winning 5-1. Today's other semifinal will see Finland against Sweden. The winners go to the gold medal game Saturday here at Rogers Place. Get your tickets at hockeycanada.ca. Nazem Kadri is the newest Calgary Flame in what's been a wild offseason for the team. Kadri, who won the Stanley Cup with Colorado last season, signed a 7-year, $49 million deal with the Flames on Thursday. And to make room for him, Calgary sent Sean Monahan and a conditional 2025 first-round pick to the Montreal Canadiens in order to create room for Kadri. The Blue Jays are set to take on the Yankees in New York in the second of a 4-game series. Toronto won 9-2 Thursday, one night after a 6-1 victory over the Baltimore Orioles. Kevin Gausman will take the mound for the Blue Jays tonight. This sports update For the Queen's Plate, the 163rd running of the Queen's Plate's taking place on Sunday at Woodbine, a day full of the best Canadian thoroughbred racing, great fashion, amazing food, and loads of fun. Get your tickets today at woodbine.com. And if you can't be there, bring the thrill of the track to your fingertips with Woodbine's Dark Horse Bets app. Its AI-powered-in strategies help you make smarter bets straight out of the gate. Feel the excitement of live stream horse races wherever you go. Download the app for free at playdarkhorse.com, available for Android and Apple devices. So as I said, Lee is here. We've covered all football for the last hour and 20 minutes, really.
Yeah.
And Sara Orlesky was just with us. Dave Campbell in hour one. Michael Klassen coming up. I'm here to tell our viewers, whatever you want to talk about the rest of the way, let's do it. And you too.
Yeah.
You too. Our last day here at Rogers Place.
Yeah, I want to talk about Antonio Brown calling out Tom Brady.
You know, please do. And by the way, just from some of our viewers here, Phyllis in Winnipeg says, I love Sarah's coverage of the CFL and the Jets. She's the best. From Jeff the Stamps fan, he says, hit him again, ye men of Calgary. Go Stamps. Stamps at Argos on Saturday. Lee's picking a Stampeders victory. That's good enough for me. I saw my buddy Bo Levi get off the plane wearing a did you see what he's wearing? A number 19 Colts jersey, paying homage to Johnny Unitas, Bo Levi. But looks like we're not going to have time to get Bo on today. So that's too bad for Bo.
We'll get him on at some point.
We'll get him on. That looks like we're not going to have time for Bo Levi Mitchell, so maybe hopefully next week. So with what Antonio Brown said, and I'm going to go back to some comments from Don, our Navy friend, and Jim regarding our football coverage on Fridays. I'll get to that. But what did AB say? Because I saw an anchor on SportsCenter allude to his comments, but I didn't really hear what he said.
Yeah, I think he was just calling out Tom Brady for basically taking off training camp, right? And here's Antonio Brown calling out Tom Brady. I'm not quite sure why, but you're making it public, and you know what I know there's been some mystery of why Tom took this off for personal reasons. I'm not sure, just other than just say, hey, I'm focusing on my family. And I know he posted some pictures of his wife and his family, but Antonio calling him out, that was pretty interesting.
Well, I got thoughts on that. I got thoughts on everything.
I want to hear it.
I didn't even need to hear what the specific quote was, but I've been following the Antonio Brown story very closely since the Pittsburgh days, and I'm a Tom Brady fan. So Tom Brady was instrumental in getting Antonio Brown in Tampa Bay in the first place. You know the story.
Yeah.
And they went and won a Super Bowl together. Nobody would touch Antonio Brown. Nobody. But until Tom Brady went to Bruce Arians and said, bring him in, I think we could win a Super Bowl with this guy. And then they do. The guy has a career year that season, and then he gets kicked. To be honest with you, when I saw that Antonio Brown was talking to the media, I thought he was going to say he regretted the incident last year in New York where he got kicked off the field in the middle of a game by his own coach. I don't think that had ever happened before.
I'd never seen anything like it. It was a complete mental breakdown.
It was. And I got a lot of compassion for the mental health field. How often do we talk about me being a certified recovery coach in addiction recovery and mental health issues? I got a lot of time for that field. Here's the second life lesson. You had one last hour. Here's another one. Having mental illness is not a license to be an asshole. Antonio Brown needs to grow up. And the one thing is, leopards don't really change their spots. So I guess we should never expect anything different from Antonio Brown. And that does not fly against mental health recovery. That is, he's not getting better. He's been given every single opportunity to get his act together. And now he's bitten the hand really that feeds him.
Yeah.
Not good.
That he put the knife in the back of the guy that brought him there. But
there you
what? Go. And as Brady has Julio Jones there now, so maybe it's just Antonio again going through some issues, and I was disappointed in him calling him out.
Well,
but hey.
Listen, there's reasons why guys like Antonio Brown and Evander Kane, it's a long list, seem to always have a job. It's because they're good at what they do.
Absolutely.
And at some point, Antonio Brown's going to run out of chances. I don't know that he's ever going to run out of money. But I guess when I saw that he had said something about Tom Brady, I was just disappointed because Tom has been through enough, and he doesn't need this from Antonio Brown. By the way, from our viewers, I was talking about last hour, and you were with me, that Fridays will always be for football. And I know that a lot of these guys are still with us watching right now. Don, our Navy friend, says, can you please toss in some U Sports if you can? And if you want to, it'd be nice if they could get some love. And then Jim Vancha, viewer, says, good idea, Don. Maybe a little info on junior football once it started on Football Fridays. These are longtime supporters of ours, and they are good guys. But guys, look at the stadiums. They're empty. I'm at the point in my life where I'm not going to be the PR and marketing firm for anybody. And we have the National Football League by virtue of our visit to Super Bowl last year in LA, saying, come on in, Rod, come on in. They were doing it at Super Bowl. Yeah. And now NFL kickoff is in a couple of weeks, and the NFL saying, let's do it. What are we going to do? Let's do an NFL kickoff. Let's do some live shows. Let's get some guys on your show. And meantime, from the university and junior football ranks, it's crickets. What would you do? And when I talk about limiting Fridays now for football talk, it's because our hockey shows are the highest rated. These World Junior shows all week were the highest viewed we've had all summer. So I appreciate it, but those leagues have to help themselves, and they're not.
We're not a community TV.
We're not
PBS.
A local cable show.
We're not PBS.
From Nelson, and we're gonna switch topics here. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in. He says, some good Dressler, Coach Ken, and McCullough stories as they go into the Plaza tonight. See, I thought they went into the Plaza last night. I don't know. I didn't even know it was Plaza of Honor weekend. I didn't know. So I thought they went in last night.
I'm sure there was a ceremony last night, and then tonight is the official at the game.
I don't know. That's the last chapter of my life. And that's why I look at Sara moving on to the Jets, and she'll probably be dealing with she'll be CFL on TSN Friday Night Football forever, but she's actually not past September. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
rearview mirror.
When it was announced that the Rough Riders were putting in Mike McCullough and Weston Dressler and Ken Miller, we shared those stories then. But I'm moving on. Wayne in BC writes in and says, you're right, Rod. AB is unfortunately an arsehole. It's a sad state of affairs. Yeah, buddy. From Marlon Bruce III, he said, did you hear of the massive TV deal with the Big Ten and college football?
It's huge.
He writes in all caps, billions. Nelson goes on to say, and Nelson's a longtime friend of mine and close friend right now. He says, you got to go where the bread is buttered. Don't try to butter someone else's bread. I said, well, I'm not going to be the PR arm of teams and leagues. We're going to do what's best for us. We were just talking about it before the show. I said, I said to you, is the NFL the biggest league on the globe? And you said,
yeah, I mean, in North America, well, I'm going to say in the world, yeah. I mean, obviously, you've got soccer in Europe, UEFA League, but really the NFL is the preeminent league in the world.
Well, and by the way, to get real serious about things, and I see a lot of people are here because it is Football Friday, who was it that said this week, I think it was here at one of the hockey games, because we're still CFL fans. Somebody said, why doesn't the CFL be like soccer and sell their players to the NFL?
Yeah.
Who brought that up?
You know, it came up, I think, in the suite the other night.
Yeah.
And, you know what? And we said, yeah, why doesn't it happen? You know, one of the teams, the league could use the money, and they could even use it in a revenue share for sure.
Well, and by the way, we spent all of hour one previewing not only tonight's games in the CFL, but Saturdays as well. So now here, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. And it is that, because the CFL would benefit from a when you turn your phone off and then back on, that's what I think the CFL would benefit from. And they had a chance in COVID to really reset. And for their own reasons, they wanted to come back exactly the same as they were before. And that's also fine. It's their league. I just don't agree with the future of it. So yesterday I had lunch with a guy that I think you've met. He's a radio guy from here in town. We went to a place called Tres Carnales. Oh, mucho bueno. Amazing. And he said, I didn't agree with the XFL talks, and I think, it's my CFL, and it doesn't need to change. He goes, what did you think about that? And I Googled a photo of The Rock, and I said, yeah, why would they want to partner with this loser?
My old coworker.
By the way, from our viewers, 3 consecutive good comments in here. From Jeff the Stamps fan, will we ever, again, have 2 consecutive sunrises, which in between the riders don't get fined? Just passing it along. From Nelson, he says the English Premier League is the biggest league in terms of eyeballs. NFL is the richest and biggest media machine. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. And Don, regarding our coverage, says, totally understand. It's sad our nation does not support its own. Right. And what's the definition of insanity, Don? Banging your head against the wall and expecting a different result. I've accepted it. We're moving on. So I think the CFL could never go, if they had this chance to refresh and they could sell their best players to the NFL, could you imagine what a bonanza that would be for the Canadian Football League?
Yeah, absolutely. Be, like I say, Nathan Rourke would be on the trading block. Bo Levi Mitchell, Zach Collaros.
It'd be on the auction block.
Not the trading block, the auction block.
That's what I'm here for.
You know what? Other leagues are doing, and that's the way they're subsiding. Even the CPL, brand new league, I'm going to say 4 years, they're selling players. They're making money. Right.
But I don't think the CFL could even do it if they wanted to by virtue of league bylaws, the collective bargaining agreement. You'd like to think the players would go for it, but I never know where they're coming from because they're just kids and they don't know what they're doing. So again, if there was ever a league that could benefit from a reset, it would be the CFL. But they don't want to do it. And Casey Jones in the chat says, Rod, those were very great points about teams and leagues needing to promote themselves. Well, thank you, because at some point you'll realize I've been around the block a few times, as has this guy. And but they're not hearing it. So we'll do us, and they'll do them. I'm very much looking forward to our next interview, by the way. CFL veteran, highly successful entrepreneur, Mike Klassen. That's next. It is a Football Friday. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio, streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
It's the RP Show. We're live from Rogers Place on semi-final Friday, 2 p.m. Mountain. It's Canada versus Czechia. And then 6 p.m. Mountain, it is Sweden versus Finland with a trip to the gold medal final Saturday on the line. We're brought to you in part by Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch. Open Wednesday to Sunday, and for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to have the CFL game put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Lee Genier with us, the COO of the RP Show. We got a very special guest coming up, and let's bring him in now if you don't mind. Mike Klassen played for 3 CFL teams. He's an original Calgarian, and the man, he'll humbly probably argue this, but I'll say behind Joey's Fish Shack, joins us today to talk a little CFL football. How you doing, Mike? How's your Friday going?
It's been going great, excited to jump off the call with you guys. So maybe I can dip out early. So, nice warm Friday. So.
Oh, is it beautiful out here? But it is nice to be in the coldest rink on the planet right now. I said to Lee, what's the best question to open up with Mike? And he said, well, here's one. You played for 3 teams, Stamps, Als, and Ottawa. Who is the one you cheer for the most or follow the most? Who do you identify with the most, Mike?
You'd think it would be the home team, Calgary Stampeders, but unfortunately, my time there was short-lived. So I'll have to say Ottawa Redblacks on this one, just because that's where I ended up, and I think had the most amount of fun and got to play and contribute in the Grey Cup, which is fun. Unfortunately, we lost, but I'm going to go with Ottawa.
Okay, well, I should go through your resume here for the folks. 6'5", 275. Mike's a Calgary product and played at the U of C. Drafted 2013 by Montreal. Played 2013 to 2016 there with the Als. 2017 with the Stamps. And then, 2018, 2019 with the Red Blacks. So before I get into the current state of them, why do all my football buddies say Ottawa is the greatest city to play in? What can you say on national television to answer that question?
You know what? I think it's more the fans than anything. The fans have just really adapted the Red Blacks as their team. As you may or may not know, the Senators, they kind of play outside of town. So the Red Blacks, it's the best party in town, 9 days of summer. So I think that's why, they get a nice young crowd. They've really rallied around the party scene there with Lansdowne. Again, I don't know if you've been there, but, there's bars and restaurants literally attached to the stadium, and it's a good time.
Well, 20 seasons, voice of the Rough Riders here. I've called many of your games, and we often say top 3 atmospheres in the CFL, Sask, Winnipeg, Ottawa, throw them in the air and see where they come down. They're all put him in a hat, right? And Lee's sitting here nodding his head. He's got some things to contribute. But now that we've got your background and reintroduced you to the viewers, what is your take then on the current state of the Red Blacks? Is they're, 1-7 going into tonight's game against Edmonton?
I think it's growing pains, but at least for them, they've been in every single game. I don't think any single game has been a blowout. It's just been, when football games are live, it's do or die, right? It's not like hockey when you play the same team, how many times in a year. Each game, you either win or you lose. And unfortunately, the Ottawa Red Blacks have been on the losing side of most of those games, even though they were close. I think they still have to figure out their stride as far as, the big reconfiguration a few years ago when I was still there in 19, when they literally got rid of the whole offense, and that's not conducive to success in any sports league. So they're figuring things out. I went through the same thing in Montreal after Calvillo got hurt in 13. And let's just hope they have a successful last half of the season.
Yeah, right on, Michael. Question is, obviously you parlayed your football career into some bobsledding as well. Tell us about your bobsledding career and how exciting was that, and getting to work with the Jesse Lumsdens of the world, and tell us a little bit about that.
To be honest, there wasn't much of a bobsled career. It was around the same time that I was training for the CFL draft that I kind of went out to a couple ID camps, and I did get invited to spend some time with the national team, and I did train with Jesse Lumsden and Chris Spring and Lascelles Brown and those guys at the beautiful facility they built in Calgary. But other than that, I'll be honest, I've never been down on a bobsled, so it was very short-lived. If you want to call it a career, I wouldn't.
Well, how about that?
I don't agree with it. I don't agree because that's like a guy spending a year on the NFL practice roster. It still goes on his Wikipedia as being in the NFL, even though he never played a game. So that's my take on that, Mike. And by the way, you can look Michael Klassen on Wikipedia for that very thing and look at his CFL career. But it's your business career that I want to ask you about next. And Lee's been filling me in a little bit on it. And when we did talk in Calgary, you guys talked about Joey's, which has undergone a brand change. Joey's Fish Shack now. Very exciting things. Everybody knows it. Tell us about your involvement with it, please.
I mean, just grew up in it, right? So my dad is Joe himself. And as loyal Canadians and growing up in Regina and calling games in Ottawa, you're probably familiar with Joey's Seafood Restaurants, best fish and chips. So my dad got his start at the young age of 21 years old, opened a small shop just on 17th Ave, downtown Calgary, and, had his growing pains, but blew up the brand in the 90s and opened 9 stores before he decided to franchise. In 2001, he opened his 100th location. But as many Canadians know, and especially, the young crowd such as myself, Joey's needed some work, and it's kind of been on a bit of a downward spiral the last few years. So we used COVID to rebrand, new menu, new look, smaller spaces. So our franchise partners, have a smaller footprint to pay rent on, utilities, all that good stuff. But another exciting thing we have is a new brand called Streets Restaurants, and we're actually about to open our 19th location. And that's kind of my focus and one thing that I've helped head up over these last 3 years since my retirement.
Well, for one, Joey's only. I know the jingle. Ron Gladys sponsored my show for many years. He owns the Regina Joey's Only Seafood restaurant. So I was just driving by Joey's Fish Shack the other day here in Edmonton. I'm like, that's got to be the same place because the logo looks very similar. But with Streets, I was there in Calgary, had some of the best poutine I've ever had in my life. So how you guys own Streets entirely? That's a heck of a menu you got there.
Yes, we are the franchisor as well. And, with a name like Streets, we didn't really want to corner ourselves into one specific niche, right? So we kind of take that street food approach. I mean, tacos are definitely our specialty. We brag about having the best fish taco in Canada or in the world, really. I mean, come prove me otherwise. So we focus on the tacos. We got the burritos, the bowls. We also do poutines, Canadian classic. And then we still got Joe's famous fish and chips on the menu as well.
Well, so yes, I very familiar with the brand, and the viewers are chiming in clearly. From BW in Edmonton says, love Joey's. From Jeff's the Stamps fan, love me some Joey's only. Not to be confused with the other Joey's. Let me last ask you this, Michael. What did you learn from your football career that you were able to parlay into your business career? There's had to be some parallels.
Honestly, well, you could go the teamwork, right? Obviously, growing and building a franchise with, right now we're taking care of around 62 locations. There's a lot of coordination, a lot of moving pieces at all times, especially now that we're back in a growing phase when we're opening new restaurants. So just being part of a team, obviously hard work. There's a lot of time that goes into these things. I always compare store openings to training camp, just because, it's about a 2-week grind. You're there 16 hours a day. The only thing you don't leave is a beat up body. So I always compare that grind to the training camp side of things. And I have a lot of fun doing it. We're in these small towns or wherever we may be opening. It is a grind. You're teaching, you're learning, you're on your feet all day. And at the end of the day, you're pretty excited to put your head to the pillow. That combined with I think what's helped me a lot in my career, helping my dad up, is with the contacts I've made through football as well. As a lot of people say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I've had a lot of football buddies that have helped me. I opened one of my own stores as well, the downtown Streets location. And I actually have a couple of my football buddies that have helped fund the thing. They're investors, part owners.
You nailed it. The teamwork, friendship, and hey, it's all fun as hell, as you know. Michael, this has been awesome. Congratulations on your success. Thanks for your support of this show, and enjoy the football this weekend.
Thanks a lot, Rod, and nice meeting you. And you guys have fun up there in Edmonton, the coldest rink and arena, as you said.
We're going to need some Joey's, man, after this. Thanks, Michael. Have a great weekend. Michael Klassen from Joey's Fish Shack and Streets. We're going to take a timeout and be back for one final segment. Viewer takeover here from Rogers Place on Semifinal Friday. Whatever you want to talk about. Actually, we have some big CFL news to pass along. It just came across the wire. We'll talk about that when we return for Overtime on the Game Plus television network. We're also live streaming on YouTube, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to The Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It is the final segment. It's our final of 2 weeks here. Oh, man, has it gone fast. Overtime is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the World Junior Hockey Championship. It's doubleheader Friday here today. Lee, my man, is with me. You're stoked, man. You can't sit still.
Yeah,
What's got you so excited?
Yes, great. You know what? Canada's playing in a couple of hours, so we're going to be sitting up there watching the game. We're going to be watching some games tomorrow. We're going to be watching Woodbine and the Queen's Plate on Sunday. Man, what a great week.
I can't stress enough for you Canadians. It is on TSN and CTV, the 163rd running of the Queen's Plate. So I would assume by now all of our viewers and friends and fans have downloaded the Dark Horse app. I know you have. I've had it. I was so pleasantly surprised to open up the app and see I had $44 left in it from the last time I wagered. So I don't know that you and I can both go with dancing in denial. That's your horse, right?
That's
you picked
30 to 1, man. 30 to 1.
That's not bad. When we had Robert Geller on yesterday, the track announcer and analyst, he did not say dancing in denial would have been his dark horse. So you can have that one. I got to pick another one.
I like to go with the underdog.
I think, well, pays the most, right?
Yeah.
But you're not going with the underdogs today on semifinal Friday. And I will say this, get your tushies in here, Alberta. And actually, we're seeing people from all across Western Canada showing up because they're introducing themselves. What happened out here on the street this morning, you said? People thought you were me?
Yeah, somebody came up and go, "Are you Rod Pedersen?" And I didn't know how to take that.
How about that? You're going to have to figure out a way, to answer that. But they're showing up, and I think they'll be 2 o'clock on a Friday. Works wonderfully for me. So I don't have any problem at all with Canada playing today at 2 p.m. Mountain up against Czechia. I know some people are upset about it, but the gold medal is in prime time on Saturday. By the way, for the viewers, because this is viewer takeover, from my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says Jays game's not televised here tonight. It's on Apple TV. And I see that everybody's informing Chris, about Apple TV. And to be honest, I have it, but I don't really use it. How do you feel about that? You got the Queen's Plate going on CTV, over-the-air network, and TSN. They can't do it for the CFL for some reason or a Grey Cup, but they can do it for a horse race. And then you got Apple TV with the Blue Jays, which has a lot of people very upset.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just expanding their footprint into Apple TV. So, I mean, good on them because they're probably picking up a whole bunch of new fans as well, right? So that's what it's about, is growing your audience and your younger demographic, which is kind of symbiotic with the Apple platform.
Well, and I stay in my lane. For years and years and years and years and years in this business, I was told to stay in my lane. And I finally stay in my lane. And I just sit here and talk. I don't get into what channels, and that's your thing. right, as the COO of this company. But I had some people that I knew that were very upset. I wasn't that happy. I came home on Wednesday night. I was with you, all primed to watch the USA-Czechia game. Didn't have it because I only had TSN 1, 2, and 3 in my room at the River Cree Casino, and it was on 4 and 5. And it's like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's...
How would you explain that?
Well, TSN's got all sorts of programming, and it's not that easy just to flip-flop as everybody thinks it is when they have an event. So, that's where you go to the streaming platforms, and again, they're able to really pick up when you're on your streaming services is really dial into your demos. And like I say, generally the younger demographic is you got a lot of cable cutters out there, and that's why maybe TV numbers have dropped for certain sport. But again, those numbers are getting picked up on the digital platforms.
And good on them. I'll sit here and do what I do, and pretty sure that Connor Bedard's not worried what TSN channels he's on. I got my job to do. They got their job to do. You got your job to do. TSN's got their job to do. Ryan in New York says, good day, Rod and Lee. Have a great weekend. Just curious, do you have time for Bo Levi Mitchell today? No, we're running out of time. We don't have time for Bo Levi Mitchell today. Sorry, Bo. Maybe next week. Jeff, the Stamps fan, has written in, and he says, word out of Calgary is that Bo Levi is at a Toronto area hotel on hold waiting to get on the RP show. That is fake news. Breaking news. This is not fake news. Ticats Delta big blow. Thank you, Nelson Hakowicz, for informing us. Simone Lawrence and Ciante Evans have been placed on the 6-game injured list. And I guess that's going into Saturday's game at Montreal. So if you've placed your bets, you might want to rethink. You had Hamilton winning.
I did.
Does that change?
That could change things.
Last minute of play in the RP show. Last minute of play. Now, here's my cousin Christine in medicine hat saying I might have to get Apple TV now. See, that's the plan.
That's the plan. That's why they do it.
Nick, we're all over the place. Rich in Edmonton says, I'm 2 blocks away from Rogers Center at work, or Rogers Place. No way I can make it at that time for a 2 p.m. start. Well, you can probably watch on streaming, though. All right, Lee, great job. Thank you to Hockey Canada. Thank you to the World Junior Hockey Championships for having us here. It's been a blast for 2 weeks, and the fun really begins now. We'll see you Monday, noon Eastern, here on the RP Show as we bid Alberta adieu and goodbye. Thanks for a great summer, Alberta. We'll see you all Monday, noon Eastern, here on Game Plus TV.
I had this steak!
Bob's your uncle. Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Approved. Yeah. I like it. Let's go. And that's cheese. Hot damn. Spicy. Yeah. Bingo.
Great hair.
Hell yes. How about that?